Hey everyone, so the topic that I have chosen for the research project was just different cultures and religion beliefs in death and the dying and what happens when you die, afterlife and stuff like that. And underneath that topic, I chose a couple of different cultures and religions to focus specifically on, opposed to just randomizing it. I had chosen the Irish, the Greek, the Mexican, and Christian beliefs, and just kind of throw in some of my own as well. Question to be thinking about throughout this presentation here is what your own personal beliefs are. That is my question to all of you. What are your personal beliefs? So to begin with, beliefs of what happens to you after you die. The Christians, they believe that there's a heaven and a hell. It's pretty cut and dry stuff, I suppose. You go one way or the other based on what you've done in your lifetime, and you're just kind of doomed there for eternity. That could be a good thing, and that could be a really bad thing, I guess. The Greeks actually believed that as you were dying, the god of death would come down and cut a lock of your hair. And then the god Hermes would lead your spirit to the river, the edge of the river Styx. Once you had actually, moved on, your body, once your body had been buried and everything, your spirit was ferried across the river Styx. And at the other end of the river, you would be met by Cerberus, the three-headed dog. His job was just to protect the underworld, make sure that no spirits escaped, and all was well in the world, because believe it or not, you really don't want escaping underworld nonsense, I guess. So after that, you would, after you had made it past Cerberus and you're locked in the underworld, you would come to this place called Asphodel Fields. In Asphodel Fields, you would forget your former life. You would just be a spirit. You would have no recollection of who you were prior to that moment right there. And then you would walk. And at a fork in the road, you would meet three judges. The job of the three judges was, you guessed it, judging the spirit and deciding where they would go. Similar to the Christians, and you go one of two ways. Another belief was that in order to ward off evil spirits, headstones and stuff like that were actually adorned with gorgon heads to prevent the evil spirits. Yeah, see? And then when you died and you were buried and everything was said and done, you would have things like pottery and jewelry and coins and other things of barter trading, monetary type of value. They would be left at your grave, and they believed that you could use these things in the afterlife. The Mexican beliefs, I focused a lot on the Day of the Dead kind of thing. So it's mostly just, it's individuals that practice Day of the Dead and believe in Day of the Dead. They believe that when you died, your soul would travel to a land or a place called Mictlan. I might be saying that wrong, and I apologize. If anyone wants to try to drop me how to actually say that, that would be cool. They believe that when your soul traveled to this place, that's where you found rest. And the aroma of incense and the bright colors and fragrances of marigolds, which were used for Day of the Dead. You see a lot of marigolds and stuff like that in Day of the Dead. They believe that that was what brought you home to see and visit family. Just be there, obviously, in spirit. I focused next on body preparations. What the norms were, or the practiced beliefs, or whatever, for getting the body ready for a burial. Some individuals of Greek culture would actually they just washed the body, covered it with some oil, and they would put a coin in the mouth. That coin, they believed, could be used in the afterlife to get you across the river Styx. That's how you paid the boatman to get you to the other side and then onward with the rest of your journey. After this process was taken care of, all the washing and the coin placement and stuff like that, the body was then just dressed and put on a really, a nice high bed, table, place for people to just come and say goodbye and mourn and just lament your death. The Irish do a similar thing. They wash the body and they dressed it in white, and depending on the individual, the deceased individual's beliefs, there would be a rosary wrapped around the hands and a cross, on the neck. Christians do last rites, something called last rites. It's basically just praying over the dead and dying, or dead and dying, I suppose. It's just the way, and the way of giving the individual the opportunity to repent their sins and get right, get right, so they can go on to the afterlife in the fashion that they so desire. Practices, I focus a lot on practices as well, such as, just little things that different cultures and religions and individuals within those cultures and religions decide to do. Individuals of the Irish culture and beliefs, when someone passed, you would open a window and you just had to leave the path from, the spot they had passed to the window. You had to leave that path completely open, so the spirit could find their way out. If you stood in the way, the spirit could get confused, and then the spirit would never leave, and they would never find the eternal rest that is believed, that is awaiting them after. And then, 2 hours roughly after you open the window, you would close it again to prevent the spirit from coming back in and, again, not leaving, because, they're not leaving. The Irish individuals would also, they would stop clocks, when when you were pronounced dead, they would stop the clocks at that time. They would cover mirrors or turn mirrors in the same sense. It prevented the spirit from getting confused and then trapped. Another practice they have, another practice individuals have is, excuse me, it's called keening. It is where women gather around the body to mourn the loss of an individual. Fun fact, if the keening started before the body was prepared and laid out, it was thought to bring on bad spirits and bad luck. So you have a cry or wail in an Irish funeral before the body is laid out. The Mexicans, individuals who participate in Day of the Dead, they decorate skeleton figures and sugar skulls, which are very popular today. Sugar skulls. They decorate them with names of the deceased and family that they're missing, and it's meant to be familiar and funny and light. Day of the Dead isn't meant to be sad and depressing. It's supposed to be reflective and just a day of remembrance for all those that have passed. And of course, with dead dying, and in order to do all of that, you eventually have to bury a body or ashes or something. The Irish individuals, they, family and friends come over, they gather for, they get together and they have drinks and they have, food. They get together and they talk and they laugh and they share memories and funny stories and just, celebrate the life of the deceased. Which Can't argue there. The men all go outside and they talk. They just kind of hang out, their drinks and their food, and tell their stories and stuff. And the women are usually in the kitchen cooking and preparing stuff and welcoming visitors and, you know, other mourners, people showing up to pay respects. The Greeks, individuals in the Greek beliefs, they do similar things. The Greeks, they, as I mentioned earlier, they put stuff in the tombs like pottery and jewelry and coins and stuff like that. They just believe it's something you can use in the afterlife, and women often make regular visits with offerings of stuff, food, you know, things of monetary value like pottery, jewelry, and coins and stuff. And they use that, you know, they pass it on because they think it can be used in the afterlife. The Mexican tradition for burial things, you know, focusing on Day of the Dead, they do altars and stuff like that to celebrate the life and, you know, help ultimately remember the deceased. They have toys for the dead, which are placed on the altars, not only of deceased children, but they also give them to living children that are at the event to kind of play with. Give them something fun to do. I mean, Christians, they hold services in churches and they focus on the religious aspects of the deceased. That's what they, you know, that's a lot of what they focus on. It's just the religious action aspects of what they've done religiously or, you know, accomplished religiously. And then your body is buried on consecrated ground, and, you know, that's about it. Cremations were actually not really accepted for a while. For a lot of individuals, it was not a common thing. More so today, it has been, it's an accepted thing. People do it. People cremate bodies all the time. And I guess lastly, my beliefs, I definitely believe in opening a window when someone passes away. I work at a nursing home, and that was one of the first traditions of sorts that I was taught. So, I mean, it's just something I've taken with me. I mean, if you're in the room, I believe that the window should be opened. It's you know, something I do every time it happens at work. Just kind of open the window for a little bit. I believe there is something, there are ghosts and there are spirits and stuff like that. What I don't really believe in is like a heaven or a hell. I don't believe that something you've done in this life should eternally damn you to a good or a bad place. I believe that there are consequences when you die for your wrongdoings, but I don't ultimately believe that you are stuck, you know, burning in the fiery pits of Hades for the rest of your life because you robbed a bank. I don't know. Just an example off the top of my head. I mean, I don't believe that funerals should be a sad thing. I think they should be fun. They should be exciting. I mean, not exciting, that sounds really morbid. They should be fun and just like, I mean, much like Day of the Dead, it should be a celebration and a reflection of their life. I think mourning in general is just a very selfish topic. You're just kind of upset because they're dead and you're not going to have memories with them. Like, cherish what you've got. I mean, I wasn't raised growing up to believe anything. I didn't have a religion. I didn't have, I didn't go to church. I tried at a time or two. It wasn't really for me. You know, my parents weren't telling me this is how this is how it goes. So I just kind of got to grow up and form my own cool beliefs. Like, I definitely believe in altars for the deceased. That's pretty cool to me, the concept, I guess. Just pictures and cool memories and stuff. So again, my question to you guys is, what are your beliefs, dead, dying, afterlife, and, you know, what have you? What are you guys' beliefs? And I guess, like, ultimately, why do you have them? Did you choose them yourself, or was it more something that you grew up with and you just believe it because that's how you were raised? So yeah, Thanks for watching the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.